So we're going to move it over to the draft. And make sure I transition. There we go. All right, so we got Infernal Shrines. First pick should be going to Do It Right on the left, as Fatal did pick the map.
So if you were putting odds on Ragnaros and Artanis escaping the ban, you would be very correct, because Falstad's going to be the first ban on Do It Right.
One of them's going to get through. Actually, I'm actually not really... I don't really think I would see Artanis on this draft at all. We might, but I don't value Artanis very high on this map, only because you're already fighting over the shrines. The swaps are not as powerful. You already want to be in the shrines fighting. It's not likely that where you want to swap, you want Artanis to dash into the shrine, try to swap somebody out of the shrine to get the kill. Like, you already want to just go into the shrine in general. So I think the swaps aren't as powerful, but Ragnaros is banned out, so maybe we'll just see Artanis. Ooh, the Dahaka first pick.
I think I remember this from before. Do It Right really had a lot of priority and emphasis on globals,
which is great on this map, especially, I mean, Dahaka, bringing out Falstad, they definitely want to bring into that market of limiting the global potential on the other team.
Yep. Fatal Destiny getting the dream combination of Malf and ETC, just trying to glue someone to the board as easily as they can.
Always a good start with the counter of Sonya Vala. So start off with the globals, and then they go into their shrine control. Sonya, definitely her best map is Infernal Shrines. Being able to spin to win with all those minions around, it's free healing. And then with the rise of her healing buff, definitely seen her a lot more often.
Have you noticed if that's helped her win rate go up at all over the last few weeks?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely gone up with her win rate. I don't know. I mean, I don't have exact numbers. I think Haslogs definitely has gotten her up more like 5 points or so with the whirlwind buff. So it's definitely noticeable. I mean, you can tell in any game you can feel it. Like, just her whirlwinding on one hero is enough to keep her alive through any auto attacks easily. Yeah. And then let alone 2, and you're in trouble. Now, the second ban for Fatal Destiny. They already had their tank and their healer, so they want to limit out the healer potential for the other team.
It's a very reasonable ban, Rhaegar. A lot of value can come off of Sonya, Vala, and maybe heroes to come, too.
Definitely between Ancestral and Totem to give slow. Because I think Sonya's biggest problem is her, even though she has the run speed on abilities, she still has trouble catching and sticking to people. And so any type of slows, that's why she's always paired with a Jaina, is always powerful to keep her sticky.
Is there a spin to win speed? How does that compare to her normal walk speed? It's about the same, isn't it?
It should be a little bit faster. It should be, I think, at the 20% or whatever her normal ability. Because as soon as she uses the ability, she gets a run speed, or she gets her speed bonus from her trait. So it should be at, I think it's either 10 or 15. It's pretty low, but still faster.
All right, Thrall the ban off of Do It Right. Fatal Destiny clearly looking to get some large damage to capitalize on that long-term stun route. Thrall certainly a good person to take off the table.
Yeah, and it definitely limits some of their solo lane potential. I mean, they already have Dahaka as a solo laner. Thrall gets rid of one of the potentials for a solo laner. I mean, there's not too many more out there. Actually, I don't think there's anybody out there that can test Dahaka, but some can still make it annoying for him. Yeah, and definitely Fatal's going to be looking for some of their damage right now. Actually, I don't even know what solo laner I'd like to see from them. Tychus is a good start. Tychus is always strong and gets a double front line right away. Uh-oh, somebody's there.
Yeah, have very, very jittery dogs, and they don't cooperate with broadcasting.
Yeah, I could understand that.
They're not even really dogs. They're like part like rodents. They're only about a foot long. They're real small. Okay. Morales, the support of choice from Do It Right, and that's a very scary amount of damage coming out of Do It Right.
Yeah, okay, they must have heard me with the follow-up with the Jaina, so they're going to have a lot of stickiness between... I mean, like, they don't have too much engage. I mean, the only engage they have is Sonya with the spear and a potential Dahaka tongue, but even that, those are both very limiting in any type of peel and any type of engagement potential, so Morales is not looking too defended, other than the fact that they're just scary on damage. Whoever jumps into them is going to take a lot of damage, but it's really going to, hopefully she has a lot of really well positioning.
Right, and I think they're putting a lot of value on the objective itself. If they don't get the objective, I'm not quite sure what their route to victory is, but they certainly have a strong one if they can consistently get punishers.
Definitely. And that counter with Diablo, one of the answers to Sonya, just because he has 2 possibilities to stun her out of Whirlwind. With the ETC stun, Diablo stun, I mean, Sonya's going to have a tough time keeping herself self-sustained. So Morales is going to have some work cut out for her.
And it looks like that's going to be it. We're headed into Infernal Shrines here in just a moment.
So, looking at that draft, what are your first thoughts on who's going to take it?
Well, I mean, my concern is whether or not Fatal Destiny can stand up to that first onslaught of damage from Do It Right, because they don't have a whole lot of immediate explosive damage to respond with, right? I mean, they've got Li Ming and Tychus, but after that, I mean, Diablo, ETC, no one else is really known for helping, get those finishing hits. So I think Fatal Destiny is going to need either a quick pick or really good positioning to get a favorable position in these engagements.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the side of Fatal Destiny only because of the Diablo pick. I think it's going to give them so much control with the ETC Malfurion follow-up. I think their laning's going to have a little bit of trouble. But moving into the game, we got on the left side, Do It Right, Tantrum on the Sonya, Lady Ronin on the Morales, Hannibal on Dahaka, Ronin on the Jaina. I wonder if there's a connection there. And Iceman on the Vala.
And for Fatal Destiny, we've got Hamwich on Tychus, Womack on Diablo, Golemai 2 on ETC, Maximus on Malfurion, and Clyde on Li Ming.
All right. So moving right off the bat, I think Do It Right. They can easily send Dahaka top lane. Dahaka top lane. I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be up to Diablo top lane to counter it. I don't know. Maybe the Li Ming. It's going to be a tough top lane. That top lane's definitely going to be pushed out.
I think they need to keep Li Ming with ETC Diablo just to really get value out of those stuns and roots. I mean, Diablo can kind of fend for himself. He's not going to win the lane, but he'll at least slow it down.
Even slowing it down would be a big hit, but a good hit on the initial first hit on Jaina, but healed up easily by the medic. And that's the other thing we haven't talked about, actually. Do It Right has so much more wave clear. So if they do any type of 4-man rotation, then they're going to be easily pushing out those lanes between the Vala and the Jaina.
This could get a bit dicey here. Jaina by herself in the bottom lane. 4 members of Fatal Destiny in position to maybe catch her out, but...
Yeah, but during all that, so we actually saw the Jaina go in the bottom lane and the Morales lane because Sonya and Vala went top lane to get a pick on the Diablo by himself. And so that's already putting a lot of pressure on the lanes.
Oh, but a good response here in mid as Morales looks like she's getting caught out and soaking up a ton of damage from Tychus ETC.
Ooh, is she going to get out? Oh, with the...
the grenade!
And with the trying to save, Jaina's going to pay with her life trying to save the Morales. Oh, you hate to see that when you put your neck out there and you get killed for it. And during all that, so even with the power of the global, Dahaka does burrow bottom to catch up on that soak. We had Sonya and Vala still on top lane during all that exchange. So still a head-on experience for Do It Right just a little bit.
A bit of unfortunate timing here from Dahaka, using the burrow to get to bottom as the shrine goes to top, but I don't think it's going to matter as he's going to just warp himself back to the core.
But a lot of good rotations. I think both teams are going to have to start paying attention to the mini-maps to make sure how far out they need to be.
Well, you tend to get weird engagements like that when your 4-man rotation goes in opposite directions.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have Do It Right does start the shrine up. They have the first couple of hits of everybody. Vala's getting a little bit out of position, and she might get picked by the Diablo. Good root on Jaina.
Crucially, the half of their peeling isn't there, and Jaina's going to take a quick couple of CCs and get taken out.
Yeah, and this was some of the things I mentioned in the early games, that they don't have... Do It Right does not have any peel, really. They only have Sonya's Spear and Dahaka's Tongue. Past that, they can actually walk past Dahaka, but they do get the stun on Diablo. Let's see if there's any follow-up. A lot of damage on it. He dies right away.
Counter engagement goes on Sonya. She is able to get away. So 1-for-1, and the Shrine's at a pretty even standing right now.
Yeah, Jaina's just about coming back. Li Ming's in trouble, has to back away. Tap the well, but she'll be back. And now Jaina does join the fight, so I think without Diablo, a little bit of time, Let's see if they're able to catch up to the 40 minions before Diablo shows up and does some damage.
Morales heading back to tap, mana fairly low. The damage looks like it's pouring out on Tychus, or Dahaka rather, but...
Only need 2 more. One more hit. There you go. Dahaka might... Oh, but he has a full Essence Bar to heal back up to full. And we'll have to see what damage... Actually, the first tower is already going down. I didn't even notice that. So this is a big advantage for Do It Right to be able to engage on this Punisher.
Yeah, I didn't realize the wall had already been taken out, so Do It Right's going to have carte blanche to just do in here and get... explode out some damage here, but it looks like instead they're just going to let the Punisher do its work and hang back a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, first Punisher doesn't do too much damage. I mean, it dies pretty quick, doesn't have too much of a health pool. So, but I think it looks like they are definitely going to be able to get this fort for it. And the power of the globals, Dahaka goes bottom lane to get some more of that soak and keep their level advantage. Everybody is pretty low on mana on Fatal Destiny though. And so now we start moving into this kind of lull phase between Punisher rounds where we have another 1.5 2 minutes until the next shrine. And people just start taking some mercs willy-nilly. There is a rhyme and reason of when you want to, but looks like we're going to start just taking the top knights right away.
I'm not totally sure I agree with Do It Right taking this merc camp now. They know for sure that the next Punisher is not going to be in the top lane. So if you can hold off on taking it for a bit, you can let it do some work as the next objective pops up. So I'm not sure about taking it now, but they just want to continue to apply pressure on an already damaged lane.
I would totally agree with you. But it looks like we do have a pick on the Tychus, followed up with a Blizzard. A little bit of damage. It looks like he is going to get out. Not enough follow-up from the Vala. Would have been a nice kill there to continue. Almost be, if they killed Tychus, they probably would have been able to invade Fatal Destiny's mercs on the bottom. It looks like from coming out of the towns a little bit. So Tychus did end up getting the bigger they are, so they are going to be looking for a lot more of their burst between the Diablo, ETC, Malfurion roots. The bigger they are is looking there to melt 40% of their health pool right away, followed up and then expecting Li Ming to get the finishing kill. That's going to be proved to be pretty tough with with Morales' safeguard ability. We'll have to see if they pull that off.
Aggressive move from Doing It Right, taking the bottom siege camp here with possibly a pick on Tychus as a reward, but looks like he's going to be able to eke his way to safety.
Yeah, barely escaped that tongue from that monster. So no mercs on the side of Fatal Destiny. They weren't able to time out the knights right away, but actually Do It Right's going to steal. They are going to end up stealing Fatal Destiny's knights right here. I don't know those knights. What are those? Pushers? Khazra camp? Whatever they're called.
I think it's just map awareness. They saw so many members of Fatal Destiny still in mid, not in position to get them, so they knew they could finish safely.
Yep. And we do have all 5. There's the collapsing. If Diablo's going to get... Roots does go down a little bit early, not able to follow up between any Diablo pulls and ETC stuns. He's definitely going to want to take a little more patience with that, try to catch somebody else.
Oh, and here comes the collapse on Sonya as everyone's just firing on her. She's going to get taken down very quickly.
Oh, but Li Ming barely gets away from that Blizzard damage. That would have been a nice counter kill if they were able to handily get that. But Jaina is going for it.
Oh, what a clutch blink, but it's not going to be enough for Diablo. ETC comes in as well, but I don't think it's going to be in his best interest. A 3-for-nothing, I'm sorry, a 2-for-1 in favor of Do It Right so far.
Wow, and that multi-shot damage like just nuked Tychus. He thought he was safe, but man, he just got obliterated. And this should make an easy Punisher for Do It Right.
So one of the most important pieces of information on the screen right now is the mana bar of Morales. That's sort of a clock on how well Do It Right can continue fighting full tilt. You see, she does have to tap as it was almost at 0.
Yeah, well, you don't have to care about your mana when you just kill them too often.
That's fair.
Yeah, so let's see if they're going to get any type of follow-up with the Punisher jump on here. Should be on the ETC right here using the first ability. Taking a little while. Taking some free damage. There it is.
Oh, and the huge explosion coming out of ETC.
Oh, man, that barely gets away. Yeah, I mean, they timed that right. So Do It Right just got their heroics and used almost everything on that ETC right there to try to get that. And we actually got the leap. That was quick. And they're still 5-man pushing this Punisher, knowing that they have heroics over the other team.
Well, they're about to come online for Fatal Destiny, so that clock isn't very long, but... they certainly have momentum on their side. Looks like they're just going to be satisfied getting some damage on the wall, getting out, maybe try to get the pick on this Diablo camping out here in mid.
Yeah, it looks like they are moving towards that. Diablo's going to... He is starting to run away. See if he's going to get out in time. I think he should be safe. Yep, there he goes. No. Ooh, Sonya taking a lot of damage there. Now, we haven't seen talents, ultimates from Diablo or Tychus yet. Can't really see why they'd be holding it. There's nothing spectacular with either of those two abilities.
I can't see Diablos being anything other than Apocalypse with the amount of ability to glue someone to the board. I mean, Apocalypse just make that almost forever, right?
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong, but I could actually definitely see reason for Lightning Breath here, only because Morales can only heal one person. If they had any type of focus on one with Lightning Breath hitting multiple, especially with the choke points here, I could see Lightning Breath getting a lot of value. But it does go APOC, so we don't have to talk about that.
Oh, but here comes a very aggressive move from Do It Right, trying to prevent the steal, but a massive silence from Malfurion's going to just obliterate Do It Right, dooming Jaina and Sonya as well. So a 2-for-0 and a camp for Fatal Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, the one with the APOC, 2 with the Twilight Dream, 3 with the ETC Mosh Dive on the Sonya. A staged, well, Mosh Pit. That was a combination of both abilities on the
OP,
Sonya.
Man, OP.
OP, yeah. That was able to secure them an easy camp there.
And so just like that, Fatal Destiny, who seemed to be kind of struggling for the early part of the game, is now approaching the driver's seat.
Oh, I really like the attempt there. So they had the Dahaka pulling in past the gate, and Li Ming was using her... Holy crap, what's that called? Wave of Force to knock Dahaka out of the way and give the ETC room to slide. I think that's really going to be a big deal for the Li Ming to try to pay attention to whenever Dahaka is using his tongue to interrupt it. Because her and Tychus are one of the two that are going to have very easy interrupts, because it's most likely going to be on the tank.
Yep. So another aggressive positioning from Do It Right, trying to set themselves up by the Bruiser camp for Fatal Destiny. While the Shrine's active, just looking for someone to come through here and find themselves in harm's way.
Yeah, looks like they're not going to take the bait with the scouting drone. They're going to play it a little safe until they know where everybody is. And there are still level 13s on them, so I think they're playing a little bit safer, making sure that they can get 13, which is not too far away. They're okay with giving up probably half of the Shrine before they invade.
And again, it's in their mid lane. I mean, if they play it safe to a T, they should maybe lose the fort, but that's, you know, it shouldn't threaten to keep it all.
True. ETC's, I mean, Tychus is trying to do a little bit of poke damage on the Jaina. Drill does go down. It looks like we are going to have to start first fight. Diablo pushing into the Jaina, getting the flip over. Not enough to push into the Roost, but it doesn't matter because he has APOC and a 4-man Twilight Dream followed up with the Rain of Vengeance from Vala, able to keep him down, but still nobody's died yet. Their first one goes down with ETC with the counter on Dahaka, and almost Sonya there, she goes down. And
this is almost certainly a dead Morales.
Yeah, the Li Ming follow-up, though. I mean, once she was able to get some of the... Oh, but she went a little bit too greedy trying to get that Vala. Just did not have enough health. And Tychus might be going down for it, too. Man, this Vala's going to town. Wow, they did not... They did not give proper credit to this Vala.
To end the game, Vala v Diablo.
Man, I mean, I'd take that 1v4. I mean, she did work. So, holy cow, they were just not anticipating her damage output, I guess, with how low they are.
I don't think Fatal Destiny expected with 4 members standing that they'd lose to a Vala.
Yeah, I mean, coming in one at a time is to her best benefit. I mean, she does punch a lot of burst with the Hungering Arrow and her Vault crit damage. And with that interesting end of the team fight, then we're going to get the Punisher on Do It Right. See what they can follow up with.
Alright, so Do It Right shouldn't be able to engage super hard here. Their Vala's still making her way across the map, so Fatal Destiny should have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, but there's a Punisher on Do It Right, so that does give them pretty much a 5th person with a free stun every 20 seconds.
Should get mowed down fairly quickly. Fatal Destiny just cleaning this up, making sure that they protect the keep, which besides the core has got to be the most important structure on the board.
Yeah, and Do It Right does now open up 2 keeps, both walls down for mid and bottom. And so any more kills, as long as they're not ending with a 1v4 or 1 person versus 1 person, they should be able to get some good value out of it.
Also of note, what a violent game. We're 13 minutes in, and so far there have been 23 takedowns on the board, and that's a very big number.
That's very true.
And it looks like we're about to have some more as the team goes crashing in to do it right, just erupting damage on Jaina very quickly and getting the early pick, blowing a lot of abilities to do it though.
Yeah, almost every ultimate, pretty much every ultimate. I think Li Ming just got a reset, but I mean, we saw the Diablo APOC with the ETC Mosh at the same time hitting 2 people, and it was only saved by the Sonya leaping into the fray, and then keeping herself alive with the whirlwind.
So while we've got a lull in the action, notice that Dehaka took adaptation, and I'm not an expert Dehaka player by any means, but I've only taken isolation. What does an adaptation bring to the table that maybe I don't know about?
Well, since they're not gonna have too much, like we said before, they're not having too much peel. So I'm assuming that they're thinking that Dehaka being in the front line is gonna take much of the brunt of all the force, and so he's gonna use that adaptation as a free full heal if possible, and saving Morales focus on somebody else. But unfortunately, so far, Fatal Destiny has been doing a pretty good job on picking the squishy Jaina Vala targets and kind of ignoring Dehaka until one of the last few. He's either way too far away, way too close, and just dies from AoE, or or he just doesn't die. So.
Well, Do It Right should pick up this siege camp on Fatal Destiny's side of the map. Should get cleaned up fairly quick with no huge damage other than stalling them out for just a little bit while Do It Right gets set up at this objective.
Yeah, we do have 3 seconds. Looks like they're just going to posture around to see if they can get any tongues, any leaps onto a solo person. If they were able to get Malfurion right off the bat, that would be a huge win for them. But they are going to play it safe with the rotation on the right side. ETC Diablo going in first.
There comes the leap. A big ring is going to spell the end of ETC, but no, the last-minute cleanse is going to keep him alive, and Jane is going to be the first to fall.
Yeah, I mean, these squishy targets, I mean, APOC has been, and Twilight Dream have really been saving these 2 tanks that get leapt on and focused down.
Oh, but Fatal Destiny falling so low, but they are able to get the takedown on Vala. 2 for nothing, but Diablo will fall as well.
Yeah, and so now with basically both squishies down, they Do It Right has no chance to fight this anymore without any of their main damage dealers. But Diablo was just, he almost got away with that because of barely killing the Vala at the bottom. If it wasn't for the Sonya Spear, he probably would have made it out.
And so good moves from Fatal Destiny. They finally got some room to breathe and a chance to start taking the fight to Do It Right side of the map. So getting some legwork in.
Is this is their first Punisher, right?
This is their first Punisher, and Do It Right not committing everybody to the defense. Dehaka still soaking top lane, trying to push down that wall to expose yet another keep, not contributing to the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were thinking that we're already ahead. We're up still 2 forts on them, and now it's basically they're thinking it's a race to 20. They know that there's 4 members on bottom here. Dehaka is pretty much has free reign to do whatever he wants. A little bit of a miss on the leap of the Punisher over the wall. Not able to get free tower shots on him.
I don't think it's going to matter a whole bunch in the end as Punisher health drops fairly low. Fatal Destiny has to disengage, but maybe I spoke too soon as they get the pick on Dehaka, surrendering Li Ming in the process. And it looks like ETC's numbers are short-lived too, but Vala is going to be the pick from Tychus and the laser to help aid the escape. Can Fatal Destiny get away? No, ETC is going to be the takedown, and 2 for 2 so far, but I'm not sure Tychus has anywhere to go. Just drawing the rest to Do It Right away from Diablo and Malfurion. Because 1 takedown is better than 3.
Yeah, and that was, and we talked about adaptation earlier, and I don't know if you were watching Dehaka's health there, but he had a completely full health bar, and I'm pretty sure he had probably half a second until that adaptation went off, and he would have been fully healed, and that would have drastically changed the fight. Granted, they won anyways, 2-3, but man, if that adaptation went off, that would have been a different story. Yeah, so right now they are, as we said, 2-3 up. Dehaka can easily go to the top lane to get any type of soak that might be pressuring on Diablo. Granted, he doesn't want to show himself out there yet, just because he doesn't know where the rest of the team is, and this gives free reign for Do It Right to take whatever mercs they want, which they are doing right now.
So with everybody up on, I guess Tychus isn't up now. So do you engage into that siege camp 5v4? It's not a great prize for what's kind of a risk. So it looks like they're going to just play it safe and continue applying pressure to that top lane.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to play it safe now until level 20. They're going to get it pretty much the same time. I mean, even though the structure count doesn't show it right now, this has been a very even game so far. And like we said before, the kills are dead even. Granted, very high, but still pretty even.
I mean, it's worth noting, I think in at least the last 2, maybe 3 Punisher fights, a team that was in control got pushed out, and the tide kind of turned from it. So both teams definitely making aggressive moves needed to win rather than just kind of coasting their way to victory. Yeah. Opponents making them earn it.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing the non-peel ability of Do It Right is definitely allowing the squishies to die pretty quickly for Do It Right, but the high damage count for their team is allowing the tanks to die on Fatal Destiny. So that's why we're getting such a high kill count. Like, both teams are almost squishy in their own sense.
20's almost active for Do It Right. They are now, so we should see everything each team has to offer in what could be the last Punisher of the game if it goes Do It Right's way.
And we actually see Morales getting Transfusion, which is interesting. Just that gives her Stim Drone. I don't see much use she gets out of Stim Drone. It just gives her some run speed pretty much. But she hasn't really been the focal point of any of these team fights.
I thought the pick was almost always Caduceus Reactor, but
almost always.
I guess if you're coming in with full mana and fights end that quickly, maybe it's not that important. Maybe being able to run away is more important.
A lot of times the bigger thing is that it's the self-healing that it gives if you ever get talked. Because, I mean, whenever you get out of the team fight, and it looks like actually Do It Right's not even going to contest this shrine at all. Got 2 minions just from AoE.
Oh no, how cool is this? Valla in the mid lane, totally ignoring the shrine and defense and looking to just mow down a keep by herself.
Yeah, they're forcing the pressure elsewhere, knowing that they still have a fort alive on the top lane, so and wall, so they have plenty of time to get back and defend. But they gotta realize that being down 5-1 can allow for a lot of kills to happen. But Sonya gets away pretty easily with her Hardened Shield, and a late game Punisher that starts doing some damage just by his own auto attacks on somebody. So they do have to be somebody scared. But they get a keep on the bottom, and they're just now gonna have constantly catapults pushing, making good use of their split soaking here.
So what a tough position for Fatal Destiny. You've got this thing starting to potentially win the game. Do you push all your chips in and try to push with it, or do you run back to defend? Because you could
definitely see some indecision here, because we had 2 people back, them trying to stop it, and then Diablo trying to go back in for the kill on Sonya.
But Fatal Destiny still in really strong position. Morales in an awful spot, should get a takedown fairly easily. And Punisher still going.
Yeah, and we actually missed the kill on bottom lane, because with the ETC, Li Ming defending the Dahaka and Valla push, they were able to get kills on both people actually, and this is going to give them a 5-2 lead on heroes, and this actually might spell game for Do It Right.
It's worth noting that ETC and Li Ming still have a very long walk to get back to this, but it may not matter, as only Diablo seems to get taken out right now. Malfurion at critically low health.
Walks into the other fort and dies, and this might be the counter push. Granted, they still have to wait for everybody to live, but they're just really trying to get this Jaina.
Tychus running out of real estate, nowhere to run. Gets the takedown on Jaina, though.
What is happening?
ETC trying to win the game.
They're calling GG, but they might not be. It still takes them 15 seconds. I mean, it's only Dahaka coming up next, so they might have. I guess they have time. I don't know. ETC might die.
There's not a lot of health left. He gets taken down.
Oh my God!
Can't sustain this as well. Will she pull it off? Core's at 18 and falling, down to 14.
Oh no!
She has
What?
to retreat.
Oh.
Morales with the takedown.
The hard commitment there. What is happening? Well, I am sending this game into whoever does replays, because that was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And I wonder if they're going to try to counter push here. I mean, Diablo's back up in 7, Malfurion's up in 11. That's enough to defend.
So Dahaka warps in real early, but he's going to be met very quickly with Diablo, and that core is still at relatively high health. I think it may have bitten off more than he could chew with this.
Yeah, he immediately pushes off his adaptation. Didn't get too much value out of it, only about a quarter of his health. But now with the follow-up with Morales, he's easy to go back in. And see, Diablo does not have any stacks yet, so he is getting pretty squishy right now. Oh. God, this is back and forth. I honestly have no idea who's gonna win.
Diablo managing to hang in there, bullying Dahaka around, is going to secure the takedown, and Do It Right, I think, has to back away from this.
Yeah, it's just back and forth. They either commit too hard and not make it, and then recommit too hard.
And so while all this is going, if you look at the top wave, Winion's in place for Do It Right, or for Fatal Destiny rather, and Jaina has to run back to deal with that.
Oh man, 2 more shots and that would have gone down too. And that's something that they're going to constantly have to get rid of. They really need to secure. They need to push out this the top lane as much as possible right now. They have 2 forts in the mid, so they're not too scared of this Punisher right now. Plus, they have to wait for Dahaka to come back, so they can't even contest. So they just really need to secure their top lane, ensure that they're not going to be worried about catapults for a little while. Ooh.
This must be the hardest board I've ever seen to figure out what to do. Both teams have a keep gone in different lanes. Cores have already been damaged. I mean, an objective's up. So what do you do? I mean, there's so much.
Fatal Destiny decides just to fully commit 5-man into the remaining core. It's only 8%, 20%.
Oh, but a massive ring coming out from Jaina, just isolating out the team.
Oh my god. Tyke going so close. What is this defense? They're not even getting to the core. ETC might go down. He does.
Looks like Morales is going to go with it, so it's going to limit Do It Right's defensibility. Sonya
if there's any more kills, they are easily going to be able to go core, but Li Ming dies, so now they can't go core. It's just back and forth.
Manages to escape. This is hilarious.
I honestly can they still go core now? They have a Diablo. They still have their healer.
They've got a minion wave. They've got 3 heroes, and they only have to do 8% of the core's health.
I think they might have it this time, only because of the minion waves, especially with this Jaina. She's definitely gonna go down after this. There it is.
Laser comes out.
I don't know anything.
Down on the core.
Vala
manages to stay alive too.
Okay, finally Jaina goes down, and I think that's okay. There's the last one, and that is gonna be game. Holy cow! What a fiesta!
And oh my god, during that whole thing, their core fell to 23%.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Holy shit!
Do It Right didn't have to kill them. They just had to stall long enough. They almost pulled it off.
What was that game? Holy cow! As it came to a time, I honestly did not even know what to suggest to do. They wanted to commit, but I didn't even notice the other team's core going so down by minions.
So
holy cow!
So I got to go back to that second to last push from Do It Right or from Fatal Destiny rather. They were barreling down the top. Do It Right was trying to backdoor them in the bottom lane, and they sent Dahaka and I can't remember who they sent. They sent Li Ming and someone else to go defend. And so they weren't able to push for the win then. But I wonder if that was necessary to keep them from losing right then, too, because they did surrender some core damage during that as well. So,
I mean, it's true. Dahaka was able, when Dahaka burrowed down there and then the Vala finally showed up, they were able to get the core down to 88%, just the 2 of them, before any response from Fatal Destiny showed up. And then that's where we saw it pretty much end. So if they... I don't know, between Dahaka having adaptation and probably a full stack of essence, I think he probably had enough health pool to not need heals and Vala enough damage to do a core by themselves if they left it alone. But on the side of that, you would have had a 5-man on the other team pushing the other core.
Well, I wonder then if when Do It Right decided not to go engage on the not to contest the shrine to cede control of that one, I wonder if they should have just rushed bottom.
Yeah, I think that might, it's an option. It's one of those, it's like you get into those situations where it almost becomes a super mind game. Like nobody shows on the map. You're thinking, are they backdooring? Are they backdooring? And then you're sitting there holding off what you want to do because you're thinking like, oh, okay, I got to hearth real quick. Oh, I got to hearth real quick. And then they show up somewhere else. Like, okay, never mind, I don't need to hearth. And then only 2 of them show up. And you're like, what's going on? I have no idea what to do. And so it becomes like a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's easy to respond to an all-in, but a kind of sorta in. I guess I raise you a little. What do you do? So outstanding match from both teams. A nail biter all the way to the end. But
kidding.
Congratulations to Fatal Destiny on pulling it out in the end.